So, hello, fellow Earthlings. This is Earthling 64554637228. And I wanted to, I guess, share my thoughts on Woody Allen, considering there's a docu-series out on him. So, yeah, I'll do that in a second. So, I'm Earthling yada yada yada, and I take care of my uncle who has dementia. I have a couple degrees, I've traveled a bit, but yeah, I take care of my uncle who has dementia, and right now he's sitting waiting for me to move him. So I'll do that in a bit. Anyway, Woody Allen. Now, this is one of the topics that I figured that at some point, not specifically Woody Allen, but just this kind of dynamic that made me want to be anonymous. Am I going to say that, yeah, he definitely did it and he should continue? No. That's not what I mean to say. But, I mean, there's always something that you say when you think that you're on the right side, and you might be wrong, and people might still come after you anyway. Anyway, these are my thoughts on it. Now, I wanted to start off with the idea that, number one, human beings are animals. We are animals in every sense of the word. We are an animal that has sent some of our species to our satellite. We've sent some of our species into space. We have harnessed the power of the sun, but we're still an animal. And at the end of the day, is it possible that Woody Allen, as he's accused of molesting his adopted daughter, his girlfriend's adopted daughter. I gotta say, I haven't seen the series myself, but I did read what more than likely was something put out by a representative of his a couple of days ago before the first edition in the series came out. And I know the backstory of the situation. But again, I wanted to point out that we are animals, and as animals, is it possible that Woody Allen would have done something like this? Totally possible. Definitely possible. Animals do crazy things to each other, and we do too, just like them. And I guess it's just more than the one thing, right? It is that he may have molested his girlfriend's adopted child, as well as he got married to his girlfriend's adopted child. But I think there's an overlap of ew that people hate about the situation, which is if he molested the younger daughter, he's a pedophile. That's one thing. And as gay people have often protested, just because somebody is gay, and maybe even that they like legal-aged younger men, people have thrown out this idea that, oh, they're pedophiles as well, and they would attack young boys. And they have, I think, many instances, and it's clear that there's a distinct difference between liking pre-pubescent children or people and liking post-pubescent individuals. And maybe people understand that, but I just wanted to make sure that there was a distinction between the two things. It's not to say that, oh yes, he likes younger girls, and that's one plus the other thing, they're the same kind of thing. It's not the same kind of thing at all, as a pedophile can easily tell you if they're willing to talk. They're not interested just because somebody is younger than them. If you're post-pubescent, that's a different thing altogether. So there is the accusation, of course, that Woody Allen, I think, on one occasion, that is described in the attic of his girlfriend's house. Possibly, he's alleged to have molested the young adopted daughter of Mia Farrow. Now, that as a person who wrote the piece that I said more than likely came from a representative of Woody Allen, as they pointed out, though, people who are, the word now is predators, people who are predators, they usually have a history. And it's usually not just a one-off. It's usually kind of like that guy from Subway, you know? You have a string of incidents. Or it's like Jeffrey Epstein. You have a history of incidents. Or it's like Bill Cosby. You have scores and scores of people. If you like underaged, prepubescent kids, it's really kind of strange that, now I don't know for a fact if he did or he didn't, but if you have that taste, you can go to Asian countries, you can probably go to African countries. I don't know that anybody has ever alleged that that's what he is and or has done. So you have this inclination, and you just apparently engage in it one time, just the one time, and never again with the kid or with any other kid that anybody knows of. Now, considering that, is it Ronan Farrow, Mia Farrow's son, that broke the case on, well, not necessarily broke, but I think he was investigating the case on, what's this guy's name? On Harvey Weinstein. Clearly, he has, his investigative chops. To me, it is really, really odd that with all of these investigative chops and with an axe to grind against, in many ways, I would imagine, a nemesis of his family or his mother, that he can't find any other instances of Woody Allen doing the same. To me, that's just really odd. It's possible, but it's kind of crazy. Next, let's just decide that we are going to search for other depravity on Woody Allen's side. It certainly isn't a positive thing that he eventually started a relationship and married his girlfriend's adopted daughter. Is it 16 years old she was at the time or whatever? That totally doesn't seem like a cool thing. On the other side, the mitigating side that I would say is they've been together for a really long time. And where are the other people, like in the case of Tiger Woods, where all these people came out of the woodwork and was like, yeah, I had a relationship with Tiger Woods. Me too. Where are the other people who came up out of the woods with respect to Bill Cosby? Yes, I was also assaulted by Bill Cosby. Me too. Where is the rest of the Me Too with respect to Woody Allen? If he was just this guy who is just, okay, he molests young kids one time that anybody can trace, and then he gets with this younger girl, and yeah, he's this guy who just goes out and finds younger girls to exploit. Where is the rest of that? And as far as I know, that's it. Those are the two things that people are completely, I don't know what the word is, but that's what people say that he did, right? That's what. And there are people who are out there who I would suggest have probably not done the combination of those things, but have at least done one, maybe with respect to being involved with a 16-year-old, or at least some underaged person. And I just, honestly, let's say there was good proof and a string of other incidents, other young people who were hurt by Woody Allen. Just like in the case of Jared from Subway or with Jeffrey Epstein, I think I would understand and I would appreciate the situation more. As of right now, where there is no history, and I can't say I know a whole lot about Mia Farrow herself, but I can say, and I suppose this is something that was in the article that I read, that hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Because, and again, maybe I'm not understanding something, maybe I'm not appreciating something in the situation, but I would imagine that Woody Allen getting involved with the 16-year-old adopted daughter was probably the end of Mia Farrow and his association completely. So what that would mean, if I'm not confused, is that the whole other thing with the younger daughter being molested would have happened before. And if it did happen before, then how is it that Mia got over that, continued a relationship with Woody Allen, which ultimately ended when he started a relationship with her adopted daughter, and then subsequent to that brings up this whole incident with the molestation of the younger kid. To me, it's like, okay, so you were okay with it when, and again, I don't know 100%. Maybe Woody Allen got involved with the adopted daughter before, and then everything was still okay, and then he assaulted the younger one, and then he broke off all association with Mia Farrow and subsequently reconnected with the adopted daughter. Really? It doesn't seem to make sense. So I may be incorrect, but yeah, this one incident, you just brushed it under the rug, or I don't understand. It doesn't really make sense. And what really seems to more make sense is that this thing, you thought it was weird. It could be because you yourself did not have much of a relationship with your father. So when you saw a man who was actually interested in spending time with a young girl, actually interested in engaging with her, that to you that seemed weird. I'm pretending as if I'm speaking to Mia Farrow. That to you that seemed weird, and as a result of that, sent your spidey senses tingling or whatever. Yeah. Now, I don't know that it's entirely relevant to anything, but in the article that I read, they mentioned that Mia Farrow had been involved before Woody Allen with, maybe she had gotten married either twice or three times to guys who were much older than her. And the marriages were not exactly placid. So that seems a little bit odd and might just simply speak to her own relationship with men, her trust of men, whatever one could say. And yeah, the whole thing with Woody Allen basically it hangs on one single solitary case of potential pedophilia and one incidence of this that has never been repeated, at least that we can see, in his entire life. And I'm sure many people have investigated him. Certainly Ronan Farrow should have. So this whole thing doesn't make sense. at all to me. It doesn't add up. Even though I have seen at least one headline that said, this whole thing with Woody Allen, it is one-sided but compelling. Well, yeah, every person that you've met who's ever been wronged, you usually side with that person because you never hear anything from the other side. So almost every story that you've ever heard of anybody who's ever been wronged is compelling. I don't know about anybody else, but that's certainly been the case for me. Anyway, that's my thoughts, and feel free to dislike and do anything negative you want to do, or anything positive. Keeping in mind that how would you like it if you were Woody Allen and this was a situation presented against you? All right, have a good one. Peace.